With the 11th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Caleb Downs, defensive back, Ohio State.
You know, a lot of times in the evaluation process, you guys have conversations with different folks. You get eyes on the tape. You write up your reports here. I don't know if I heard or read many negative things about Caleb Downs. I mean, the amount of praise that this safety has gotten, Bucky, is pretty tremendous. So you can understand why the Dallas Cowboys decided to move up to go and grab him.
Okay, so what I love about this is, in this process, which is really a beauty pageant, at some point you got to take really good football players. And Caleb Downs is an outstanding football player. And I contend that he was the best football player that Ohio State had on their squad. High IQ player, versatile in terms of being able to do anything you want to see the safety do. Patrolling the middle, making plays. Coming downhill, delivering the big hit. He can do all of those things. But it's also his ability to come down and be a run stopper, line everybody up and do those things. And I think it has been underestimated and not discussed enough. This guy was the defensive quarterback of a defense in Alabama that Nick Saban handpicked him as a freshman and gave him the keys. Then he goes to Ohio State. Matt Patricia, who's been an NFL defense coordinator and head coach, puts it all on him. I am telling you, he is going to be a much better pro than people have talked about because he is an instinctive player who is always around the action.
He's a high football IQ player. Bucky mentioned Nick Saban and Matt Patricia. That's, those are great to learn from. For one guy to handpick you, for the next guy to help mold you and shape you. I think he can, a big trend right now in the NFL is the third safety. So the big nickel role. And Caleb Downs played that, the star role, whatever you want to call it in college, the overhang position. He can play some split safety, but he can also play around the line of scrimmage like Jalen Petrie for the Texans to just smack people. And this is also, that Dallas defense has gotten really soft.
With the 12th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Kaden Proctor, tackle, Alabama.
Kaden Proctor, big man goes before many people thought. Look, he was a bit of a polarizing player on the media side because people wanted to know, like, man, where's he going to go? He was a five-star recruit. People talked about him. Didn't necessarily play up to the hype consistently as a collegian. But then you see him move around. You see him at the combine. You see him move around in his pro day work. You see all the things that he brings. Massive man. They talk about 6'6", 352. But we know for a fact that he played heavier than that. And the issues that you saw on tape was when he was heavier than that measurement. But there are a lot of things to like about him. He can anchor versus power. He has strong hands. He's sturdy. He's stout at the point of attack. He can move the body, move the furniture in the run game, which you want to see as a left tackle. And when we talk about the physicality and toughness, he has all of that. And really good athlete. Because I know this, you don't like to get those big guys in space much, and you definitely, when you're a defender, don't like to see him. He mauls and mashes people. And if you don't like him blocking, give it to the big fella. Let the big fella get the bubble screen and go out there, and he almost found his way to the paint. They do the Wildcat stuff with him. Tremendous athlete. That's a good one, man. If he gets it worked out technically, this guy has all-pro caliber talent.
I'm curious to see where he plays because Patrick Paul is on the left tackle spot. You've got Austin Jackson at right tackle. Now, I'm not necessarily saying he might not take one of those jobs, but they got a wide open Jonah Savayanea, who was a second rounder last year, is sitting at left guard, and at right guard is Jamari Sawyer.
With the 13th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Ty Simpson, quarterback, Alabama.
Told us.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Ty Simpson, the selection, the Matthew Stafford heir apparent now in round number 1. 13th overall pick. Guys, we talked about this on Mock Draft Live. I don't know how many times we ended the show, and I said, hey, a possibility for a team to come into the first round and draft Ty Simpson. You guys said it was a possibility. It turns out no one had to move up. The Rams just took him.
Well, I mean, look, here's the thing. Before we talk about where he was taken, we talked about the team that was best for him. And all of us had agreed consensus that Sean McVay would be the best
Mach
person
1.0
to get him.
Remember when they had the pick over at 29?
We've said that.
That was the Ty Simpson spot, was 29 to the Rams before they traded it.
And so we talked about that. They make the move. They wanted to get the quarterback and those things. Now, I've said this about Ty Simpson. Footwork is as clean as it comes.
Yes.
If you had a youth football quarterback that you wanted to watch Ty Simpson in terms of the mechanics and those things. The thing that you worry about is size, inexperience, and overall arm talent. Is he big enough to withstand the pounding? Does he have the experience necessary to play at a high level? We'll say no, but we'll see. Now, he'll have an opportunity to sit behind Matthew Stafford and get his chance. We'll see what it looks like.
So the things we pick at are things that are normal for a 15-game starter. And if he were going back to school, you'd say, man, this guy's a Heisman Trophy frontrunner next year. He's going to get a lot better. When you watch tape the first half of the year, he's got a chance to be the first pick of the draft. When you watch tape the first half of the year, he was outstanding. Like 21-1 was his touchdown-to-interception ratio. His game against Missouri that we spotlighted there
Everyone talks about
was some of the best tape that you'll see for a quarterback all year long. But then, as Bucky mentioned, the injuries started nagging injuries started to pile up and get him. Defenses started to figure him out a little bit. And he started having issues that, a one-year starter typically has.
With the 14th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Olaivavega, Ioane, guard, Penn State.
Don't play with this one, Mike. Just run the card up.
Look, you guys both said it.
We're just running the card up. I mean, I plugged him in at least 3 times in the mock draft, 2 or 3 times to the Ravens. Everyone's got him to the Ravens. Bucky, I'm sure you got him to the Ravens.
We talked about him so long.
This guy was built to be a Raven. So he lost a little weight, slimmed down this offseason. I thought he looked quicker. He got to blocks better, some of his landmarks better. As a run blocker, he is a finisher. He sets a tone. It's not just about making hard first contact. It's about finishing the block. And every one of these blocks that you'll see, he's going to finish his blocks. He can get on the move, and this is why he lost a little weight. He wanted to be more impactful and have better range as a run blocker, and that's something he absolutely did. There are some holes in pass pro that he's got to tighten up. Most guards have that. But when you want someone to help keep that running game sharp, keep the running game tight, it's not always a sexy pick to have a guard, but man, are the building blocks important, and he's a building block pick.
I'm going to say this. He was my highest rated offensive lineman.
Okay.
I loved him more than anybody else because I thought at his position he dominated the game unlike the other guys at their position. When you watch him play, there's a level of violence and physicality to his game that you know is going to translate well to the National Football League. This guy can do it all. I mean, I'm not saying that he's flawless, but he's darn near perfect when it comes to it. And I know we get into this thing about positional value, but if we're talking about best football players, which is traditionally what the Baltimore Ravens do, you can be hard-pressed to find a better football player than Vega in this draft.
With the 15th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Rueben Bain Jr., linebacker, Miami.
All right, there's been a lot of conversation about arm length with Rueben Bain, sub 31-inch arms at the combine. Actually, Kaleja Cansey, one of his now new teammates, also in that neighborhood in terms of range with those arms back in 2023. But Lance, you turned to me and you said you'd be shocked if Bain isn't the selection.
It was a big need for him, and Rueben Bain is a Todd Bowles kind of player. Jason Light's going to love him. He is a roughneck. Got to get a roughneck. Remember that, Buck?
Yes.
This is a very rugged player when he turns the corner. And you'll notice once he gets the edge on any of these blockers, it's a wrap because he's so powerful in his lower body. He's got very violent hands. He can reduce inside and rush inside using his blend of quickness and power to overcome guards. And as I mentioned, it's about being a two-way player too. A lot of times we get enamored with pass rush. What about stopping the run? He is a bona fide run stopper. So this is a really good pickup. Look, the arm length thing, though, Bucky, when it gets to NFL teams, I know fans like to say it doesn't matter, but I talked to a couple GMs who talked about the historical norms of never having a defensive end inside the top 10 picks with arms that short who ever became a Pro Bowl type player. And so it matters to teams.
It does matter to teams. And that's why you have all these historical data to make sure you measure up in what typically plays. Here's what I say also plays. Sometimes you just want to tell a guy that can just whoop people's tail at the point of attack. And when I look at Rueben Bain, that's what he did. Because in the playoffs, he issued a lot of tail kickings to those guys on the opposite side of it.
With the 16th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Kenyan Sadiq, tight end, Oregon.
So the tight end coming out of Oregon, if you like explosive playmakers, look no further than this Oregon Duck. And then if you like the measurables, his combine was really impressive. Fastest 40 by a tight end since 2003. Second among tight ends in terms of the bench press, second broad jump, second vertical. And I think, Buck, you made reference to this on one of the mock draft lives. We don't give him enough credit for what he does as a blocker.
No, he is a problem. He is a headache. And man, if I was a defense coordinator having to defend this kind of guy, he is everything in terms of yak, explosiveness, being able to catch the ball in the perimeter, run through, run around, make plays happen. He's a mismatch creator, and he exploits those mismatches because, look, he's too big, fast, and physical for DBs. He is too fast for linebackers. He makes plays right down the middle of the field. And if you're thinking about the Jets and why they would go with this move as opposed to another receiver, last year you took Jason Taylor's son, Mason Taylor.
Yeah.
You now have Kenyan Sadiq. You have 12 personnel. You have Garrett Wilson on the outside. You have the ability to run the football effectively out of multiple tight end sets. This sets them up for success. And remember, the craze last year was 13 personnel, 3 tight ends on the field for big plays. Frank Wright using the big body tight ends, trying to create some mismatches. He can be the guy that is listed as tight end, but in those heavy sets, he is actually your Z.
Listen, he's clearly the best tight end and is not even comparable in this draft. Mekhi Lemon is a wide receiver who's still on the board. You've still got 3 more picks to go before you're even done with the second round. You can go get a wide receiver. You can't go get another Kenyan Sadiq. So I love this pickup. It makes them more versatile. He's also a great route runner. He's got a robust route tree he can run. He is just he's a versatile move tight end.
Yeah.
With the 17th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Blake Miller, tackle, Clemson.
Well done, Houston and the Detroit Lions. Going with Blake Miller, his name has popped up a whole lot on Mock Draft Live. I don't know how many of us would have had him going 17th to the Detroit Lions, but this is a guy, 54 career starts, 53 of them at right tackle, 1 at left tackle, guys.
Yeah, so right position, wrong player, but Blake Miller is he started, as you mentioned, he's the most experienced tackle in the entire NFL draft. He's got long arms. He is a very athletic player who can get out in space. He's not a great bender, tends to play upright, so you think he's not going to be able to really move as well as he actually does. He's saucy too. Now he's got a little nasty to him, and I think that's something that Dan Campbell probably loved when they were interviewing him and talking to him. Brad Holmes as well probably saw he's got some of that, Rob Havenstein nastiness to him that Brad Holmes saw when he was in Los Angeles before he came over to the Lions. So he's got attitude, he's got length, he's got some quickness, pretty good pass protector. I think the upside is a little bit capped for him, but what I think is interesting here, Bucky, is they had talked about moving Penei Sewell to the left side. I thought, okay, they'll draft Monroe Freeling, he'll play left, and they'll keep Penei Sewell on the right side. But now I think they'll leave Penei Sewell, the super hyper-athletic all-pro tackle. I think they'll swing him left, let him stay there, and keep Blake Taylor and keep Blake Miller on the right side. I guess that's what they'll probably do.
With the 18th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Caleb Banks, defensive end, Florida.
All right, so sometimes you go through these mock drafts, and we did a whole lot of that. Caleb Banks' name, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think
Early in the process we did, but then as we're prone to do sometimes with these things, we get out of pocket and the buzz kind of cools on him. But coming out of the Senior Bowl, there was a lot of conversation about him, his size, his ability to be destructive at the point of attack. When I look at my notes, violent, heavy hands, arm over, nimble feet, disruptive, versatile, can play the 1, the 3, and the 5 technique. When you watch him, particularly back in 2024, I wrote the tape was great in 2024. Snatch and jerk, good technician, played with great effort. The injuries limited him to 4 games. It's a boom or bust pick people are talking about. But you don't see guys at 6'6", 350 pounds that can play outside. To me, very similar to the vibes I get when I saw Chris Jones coming out of Mississippi State.
Oh, here we go.
If he plays, this dude is a handful for people at the point of attack.
So my problem is, I think it's a reach, and I'm going to tell you why. Not because of the player, but because they drafted a huge need. They have a huge need at defensive tackle. They drafted a defensive tackle here, but he's got a broken foot right now that's still healing, and it's supposed to heal sometime in the summer. But this has been an ongoing issue. He's had an issue with staying healthy, and it feels like now his upside is immense. He's the most talented defensive tackle, and he can get after you as a pass rusher too. So everything Bucky said is right. All the Chris Jones stuff, he shows flashes of it, but staying healthy is a big concern right now.
With the 19th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Monroe Freeling, tackle, Georgia.
You know, one thing you can't teach is size. 6'7", 315. He's not small, Buck.
No, he's not small. I'm looking at the tombstone. Mom is the yoga instructor. I don't know how they got in there, but okay. So his ability to bend and move those things, Mom helped him out. When you look at the balance, look, when you look at the balance and body control.
That was you at 6 a.m. today. I know that.
That's me today. I dig it. The movement. Here's the thing about Monroe Freeling. Didn't play a lot. Talking about 17, 18 starts. Still trying to figure it out. But when you see the athleticism, you see the traits that he exhibits. To me, the Carolina Panthers are a nice situation because they're sitting here looking at Iheanachor and wondering if he can come back and if he can be the player that they want him to be. Well, now you take Monroe Freeling, and whether he starts or not, you know, going forward, you have a guy that can be a starter. Look at that little triangle.
I see you,
Little
Buck.
triangle. That's nothing. Little triangle. Look at that straight.
Warm up, isn't it?
Yeah, now we in there. That's nice. No blocks. Look at my big man.
Are you a block guy? I don't. Yes.
I mean, it depends. There's nothing wrong with blocks. Everyone needs a little support.
Triangle. That's that move that we just saw.
That's the move. He was in triangle.
Okay.
Yeah, well, come with me. I'll take you out there. Get you.
You go
get you
too
all
early in the
stretched
morning,
out.
man. You go too early for me.
Tackle.
With the 20th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Malachi Lemon, wide receiver, USC.
Okay.
Another wide receiver now off the board. 11 years after the Eagles took another SC wide receiver, Nelson Aguilar, with the same exact pick, 20th overall. It is Malachi Lemon heading to the city of brotherly love.
I'm a big fan of Malachi Lemon. My grade on him is much higher than where he was taken. I know there's a question about, he didn't do any of the workouts other than he ran at his pro day, didn't do any of the athletic workouts. I know some teams were not exactly thrilled with that. I think it's all on tape, who he is and what he is. Super, super competitive. He's got that competitiveness that I used to see from Hines Ward in Pittsburgh. I think he's deadly from the slot. This game against Iowa, best wide receiver game by far this year for anyone on tape. He made highlight reel catch after highlight reel catch. Right here, look at the route running. Turn you, and burn you. And it's just, it's all the time. And as you see, fearless in the middle of the field. He has no regard for the footsteps. He doesn't hear the footsteps. And when he goes up, he's got really strong hands to make those contested catches. So he's one of those guys that Bucky, quarterbacks just trust him. They'll just implicitly trust it. If I throw it near him, he's probably going to turn it into a 65, 35, 70, 30 ball.
He's going to do his number one slot receiver that I had on the board. When I look at the notes, it says natural hands pass catcher. I mean, it's hands only. He doesn't let the ball come into his body often. Just really nice in that. Explosive, quick, burst, stop-start quickness, does that. Like Lance alluded to. Courage over the middle of the field. He's going to make the play. It doesn't matter who's in there. He's going to get it.
No doubt.
I love it. And the versatility. Played flanker, played slot. We think about the Eagles' offense and how you want to move and create opportunities for your best players. His versatility, being able to play outside and inside, is going to help this offense move forward.
The last time I introduced the Steelers' first-round pick, I was fortunate to introduce T.J. Watt. And with the 21st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Max Iheanachor, tackle, Arizona State.
So 32 games played, 31 starts for him at ASU, 30 of those coming at right tackle, 1 at left tackle.
Just started playing the game. I mean, he was late to the game, former soccer player. This is a pick about upside. This is a little bit of a dangerous pick. It's a buyer beware, but high ceiling, little lower floor. And it's just about how you develop him. That's really what it's about. Former basketball player, played some soccer. He's got excellent core strength. He's really, really nasty. You saw the flashes at the Senior Bowl that made you say, okay, I'm in on Max Iheanachor. He's still a little bit raw. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Like I said, it's about getting the right offensive line coach and the right development plan for him. But his talent, like he's got left and right tackle talent. You'll see some of these Senior Bowl one-on-ones. He was really, really good. And he's got a little funk after every single rep, Bucky. He just wanted to let you know that I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to get the last little lick on you.
Okay, so you guys know I coach high school ball in LA in the city section. He's a city section product. He played basketball at Kings Drew. They didn't have a football team, makes his way to junior college and finds his way to the football field and has success at Arizona State. You talk about the best ball ahead of him, that's what it is with Max Iheanachor. You talk about the size, the athleticism, all those traits that you look for. It's not a finished product now, and that's why in Pittsburgh, you have to exhibit a little patience as he develops. But all the traits are there for him to be a good one. It's just going to happen in time.
Buck, I could see him on the block. What I can't see is him as like a sweeper in soccer. At that
Now,
size.
I did that.
Oh.
Did that. I'm going to tell you now, I'm not going to slide tackle my man if he's coming down there with the ball one-on-one. But I would love to see him bicycle kicked up.